Hey, it's me, NJB, and I'm starting this video off with no fan and no AC. I know it's February and a lot of you are in parts of the country where you're like, AC, what are you talking about? But it's warm in here right now. It's supposed to be 88 degrees today, and yeah, it's warm in here. So I've opened the windows and I'll see how I do with that. I don't really like to run the fan and the AC because they make noise on the video and I don't like the way that sounds. But I have an audition. An audition came in last night at about 10:30 p.m. I have to put myself on tape. The audition is due today at 4:40 p.m. and I gotta get myself ready. So I've already prepped my face. I'm laying my hair down. I'm gonna put on an Afro puff today and do this audition. What time is it now? It's 10:18 right now, and I'm usually not this alert at this time in the morning. Left to my own devices, like if I don't have anything to do, going to bed around 1:30, 2 a.m. and getting up at like 9:30-ish. That's what my body likes to do. You know, some days that does not happen. Some nights either. But a friend and I were texting today about, it started off texting about age and ageism, and she was saying that she has a number of friends who lately they keep calling themselves old. You know, I'm so old, I'm so old. And she's like, you're not old, or if you're old, you can get old if you want to. And but I'm gonna be living my fabulous life. And I offered a different perspective. I don't think getting old and being fabulous are opposites. If they are opposites, then what do we have to look forward to? Everybody, if they're fortunate enough, is gonna get old. You know, there's only one way to stop getting old, and I'm trying to get as old as possible. So I told her that. And she's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. She said, but the conversations that she's having are about just getting old and that meaning something bad. I told her, you know, I grew up with multiple generations, around multiple generations. So I saw various, you know, levels of age. And to me, it was just life. It's the natural progression of things. And part of the weirdness is being out here in Hollywood where everybody's like trying to be young forever. And you can't. You can't. You can't. You're not supposed to. One time I heard Julia Roberts say something in an interview that I always held on to. She was in the movie Mona Lisa Smile, and we all remember, well, a lot of us remember the time when Julia Roberts was like the Hollywood it girl. Like you couldn't throw a rock and not hit Julia. Well, that's not nice. You couldn't turn for seeing her. And then, you know, as happens, the new crop of Hollywood it girls came in, and so she was in that movie Mona Lisa Smile with the new up and coming it girls. And somebody interviewing her asked her, I think they were being messy, asked her what it felt like, you know, to have been Hollywood's darling and to now be working with all these new actresses, younger actresses. And she said, you can't out-kitten the kittens. And I was like, girl, that is the truth. That's the truth. You look silly, you know? You look silly. You 53 years old and you out here trying to pretend that you 35. No, baby, no. Now, I'm all for looking your best. I mean, what am I doing right now? You know, what am I doing right now? I'm all for looking your best. I'm all for being healthy, all for being spry for as long as you possibly can. I'm all for taking care of yourself. But I think it gets a little extreme, especially in Hollywood. It gets a little ridiculous. So that led me down the road that conversation led me down the road of thinking about, I'm letting this part dry, the orange correcting concealer. I started thinking about just things that we are supposed to, these are my air quotes, supposed to believe, or led to believe, or things that are fed to us that aren't necessarily true for us. We will feel differently about different topics because we're not all the same. But there's been a lot of talk lately about the American dream. And in thinking about the American dream, I realized that it has never been my dream. Even when I didn't consciously realize it, something in me knew that, I don't think I want to participate in all of that. I was told and taught from a young age that, y'all hear that? It's a lot of sirens of different types. Hope everything's okay. But taught just by society in general. Like I can't point at any one person. Like, my mother taught me, my father taught me. No, you grow up, you do whatever you gotta do to get a good job. You stay at that job and you make a lot of money, work very hard, you make a lot of money, and you have, you get married, you have some kids, you retire at, I think the age was 65 then, or maybe it was 62, and then you live out your golden years in a rocking chair or whatever, doing cross stitch and bingo or whatever it is. And I went to college, and at some point while I was there, I realized that it was possible to be a grown woman and not have kids and not hate kids, because that's the first thing people want to know if you say you don't want to have kids. You don't like kids? I like kids. I do. I like kids to go to a home that is not mine. I want to play with them for a while, teach them a few things, hang out with them, whatever, and then send them home. And then getting married. I figured that out pretty early on too. I actually was engaged when I was 17. And here, let me give myself a little. And I'm glad I did not marry who I was engaged to. That would have been a disaster. But I started to question the point. I was like, why? Like, what's the point? Like, why would I get married? What do I gain? Love. Well, shouldn't you love the person before you get married? Well, yeah, but you love them so much you want to marry him. Well, I don't know. It did not compute for me. And that's not bashing you and your marriage, whoever you are watching this video. I'm just telling you my process. I didn't see the point. Then I decided I was going to be an actress. I wasn't going to go to corporate America. I wasn't going to go to law school, which is something that I had strongly considered. I wasn't going to do any of that. I was going to go act, which is a very unconventional thing to do. Because you hear so much about starving artists, and that might be your lot. But I was just committed to doing what made me happy. I have had people tell me that that's selfish. I've been told that. I've been told that I'm selfish because I didn't have kids. It's my duty to have children and populate the earth, as if we aren't overpopulated already. So I've been called selfish for that. I've been called selfish for not wanting to share my life in marriage. There are lots of ways to share your life with people. I share my life with a lot of people, that don't involve marriage. I don't know. People just get in their own stuff and then they want to project it on you. I just want to be happy. And I didn't feel like those are things that will make me happy. I think about, other parts of the American dream. Like, you got to have the latest and greatest everything. The latest and greatest car. You got to have the latest and greatest designer labels on everything. You have to have a big house. And again, I want to say this to you. I am not knocking people who want these things, okay? If you legitimately want these things, then by all means, I want you to be happy. But I also want to be happy. And those things never, didn't mean a whole lot to me. Money doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I wish I had learned earlier that money is a tool, basically. It's a tool that you can use to buy your freedom, because freedom means a lot to me. But all that other stuff, I don't care. My car, I'm going to drive it till it won't drive anymore. What year is my car? My car is a 2009, and I bought it in 2011, and I'm going to drive that car till it won't go. It's paid off. It hardly ever gives me any trouble. Knock on wood. I wanted to keep not giving me any trouble. And I'm going to be in that car till kingdom come. There have been 2 times in my life when I seriously considered buying a condo. And both times, something in me said, just hold off. Now's not the time. Just hold off and and think about this. Make sure. Some of you watch this video and just say I'm commitment phobic. Okay, maybe. I am wary of getting myself into situations that I cannot easily extract myself from if I need to. When it's time for me to go, I want to go. And you can't really do that if you own a house, If you're married, it's not good to do that kind of thing. Extract yourself. And you're pledging, till death do us part. And if I know going in that it doesn't take death for me to part, then I probably shouldn't get into that to start with. Because there are a whole lot of things short of death that would make me leave, to be quite honest. So those are all things that are part of the American dream. And now putting it together and then seeing some of these conversations surrounding the American dream, I feel validated in a way that I wasn't looking for, and that I hadn't anticipated. It's like, okay, all right. People thought I was crazy, but yeah, no. Like, I followed my gut. And I think that's important for everybody. Follow your gut. Make sure what you say you want is really what you want, and it's not what you think you should have. We've heard about keeping up with the Joneses and all that. It goes deeper than that. Sometimes we can acquire things thinking that it's going to make us feel fulfilled, but it doesn't. There's nothing that you can buy or acquire outside of, like, if you have a family, they can give you love and support, and you have your people with you. That can give you a sense of fulfillment. But if you are unhappy with you, nobody can make you happy. It has to be you. It has to be me determining what success looks like for us as individuals. For some, that will be a nice house and marriage and children and some pets, and you know what I'm saying? like we're all wired differently. But until recently, I mostly heard the voices from the people who were like, yeah, you gotta have this and this, and yeah, get that money, go get that bag, girl, and and it's just like, isn't there something else? Is this literally all that there is? Well, no, there's something else, but each of us has to find it for ourselves. I don't think it's any secret to anybody who's been watching my channel for a while that I'm in a place of transition. where I don't want to be in the US anymore. I'm just over it, over the shenanigans. I've always wanted to live somewhere else, but it's like the pull is extra strong now, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to be and then how to sustain myself once I'm there. I don't know yet. So in the meantime, oh, I meant to put on a lip liner. Running my mouth. In the meantime, between time, I am doing these auditions. And I thought by my not having worked for a long time, I thought I would be really, really rusty. But I've been good, yo. I booked one of the first auditions that I had. I told you about that. I took you to set. I booked a backup job. You know, I don't want to be the backup. I mean, I got paid for the day and I didn't have to go in or anything. But I want the real, you know, the main job, because then I get residuals. So, but I booked the backup job, which meant I was second in the running. And I honestly think I would have booked that job if I hadn't had to have my call back from my little raggedy trailer while I was on set. But that's just me. But I booked it. I've had a couple of big auditions. After one of them, my agent told me how good that audition was, and like it just made her emotional watching it. And that's a compliment for a performer. It really is a compliment. And then last night I turned in another audition, and my manager called me and said, "Nicole, this is so good." I was like, really? Because when you look at your own work, and I think you'll hear that from almost any performer, when you look at your own work, or if you're a musician, you listen to your own work, there are things that you hear, things that you see that you're like, okay, I wish I would have done that a little differently. Okay, but you can't do it over and over and over and over again all day long. At some point you have to say, all right, this is finished enough for me to turn in. And that's what happened, is I kept doing it, and I was like, okay, at some point I got to edit this and send it in. And she was like, this is so good. I'm like, thank you for saying that. We'll see what happens. If I book that one, I'll get to work in Chicago for a long time. but I'll be there starting from when it's warm. Y'all know I'm not trying to be in Chicago in the wintertime. Oh man. Okay, here's the part of the video where I'm trying not to like have my mouth open. Hold on. So I'm auditioning, booking some jobs. I am putting money away. You know what my biggest splurge is? Really, I think my only splurge is on eating out, because I don't take the time to cook. Like a lot of times my days, I just don't feel like I have time to cook. And then it's not until I'm like feeling lightheaded or like jittery that I'm like, oh, I need to eat right now, you know? And I look in the fridge and I go, there's nothing in here that will cook in under an hour or whatever. Or there's nothing in here because I haven't shopped. And so I'll get something via DoorDash. That's my splurge. And I try to keep an eye on it. But yeah, that's my issue. Oh, okay. Let me think. Oh, mascara. But I'm learning as much as I can right now about investing. And I just wish I understood this stuff when I was much younger. I actually started buying books about investing in my 20s, but I didn't understand them. And like I just felt like, okay, well, this is something you do when you have a whole lot of money. But the truth is, you do it when you got a little money so that it can grow into a whole lot of money. And the more time you spend in the stock market, the more your money grows. I didn't know. I didn't know till a few years ago. So I really have been doing what I can to educate myself. I've been reading books. I've been asking my dad a lot of questions. He knows quite a bit about the stock market. At this point, I can actually share some information with him, which is kind of cool. And I'm sharing what I learn with other family members as well. I know I'm not qualified to teach, but what I'll do is I will put under this video, I'll put links of some channels that I watch here on YouTube that I've learned a lot from. So that if you want to level up, I don't care if you got $10, you know, put one or two of them or as much as you can spare toward yourself and your future. I just wish I had known. So I didn't. Okay, before I show you what hair I'm going to put on, one thing I would love for you to comment on in the comments under the video is, what is your dream? We're not talking about the American dream. What is your dream, and how does it differ from what you were told to value? Like, what do you value? I'm curious to see what some of the answers are. I value freedom. I value creativity. I value time with loved ones. And I don't feel like I get enough of that. Like I feel like I'm so busy that I'm not able to spend time with people who are most important in my life. And I don't like that. I don't like it. So those are reasons that I need a change, because I'm living a life that there's some things I like about it. You know, I like the when it's creative. I like that part of it. It's not often creative. Anything that you tie to a business, tie to money, it changes. So I love acting. The business, not so much. It keeps me tied to certain places. Like for a long time, I had to live here in LA. Now I could go to Atlanta if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I don't want to live in Atlanta. Yeah, so, you know, you live and you learn, and sometimes your priorities change, and that's where I am right now. I'm looking for a place to be and figuring out what I want to do when I get there. That's what I'm doing. Let me show you what this ponytail is. This is an outre afro large ponytail. And I reviewed this. I'm going to put the link up. I reviewed this years ago. It's still here, doing fine. I've worked in this ponytail. I've just hung out in this ponytail. And the video for this is my most watched video ever. To this day, girl, what you doing? To this day, I am surprised. Like, people still watch it. I need to look and see if this ponytail is still available. If they're still selling it. I absolutely love it. I also have a smaller ponytail. I mean, a Afro puff. It's outre as well. I don't know where it is right now. And then I have two other ones. One is like, got like burgundy in it, and the other one is like blondish. I wore the blondish a lot when I was in Mexico. All right. It's got a drawstring. It came with a really long drawstring, so I cut it. So it's now it's this long. I mean, I don't see why it needs to be like out here. And then you embarrass yourself. You forget to tuck it in, or it falls out, and you got a tail going down your back. One time I went to an audition, and you know what? It's been a couple times I've embarrassed myself at auditions, and nobody told me. One time I had a hairnet hanging from, I think I was wearing a ponytail. And I was like, when I left the audition, I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I pull it and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. The good thing is that it didn't get caught on camera because I didn't have to turn my back to the camera. That's the good thing. But everybody who saw that, foul, just straight foul. Another time, sometimes they ask you to wear clothes in auditions that you don't have. And early in my career, I would go buy them. I'd be like, oh, they asked me to wear a blue polo. I gotta go buy a blue polo. Well, one time I ran and bought a blue polo from Target, and it had a size, a little strip that says like large, 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 large on the front. I wore that in my audition. Nobody told me, and I'm sure that got on camera. Folks just don't do right, I would tell somebody, like I tuck people's tags in. I think people who don't tuck in tags and let you know when your slip is showing and all that, I don't think they're gonna see heaven. I bet y'all glad I ain't God. Okay, well, this is how I'm going to audition. I'm gonna be a mom today and sending her daughter off to prom. So the boy comes and picks her up at the front, and I can't say what it's for, but the boy comes to the door. My husband and I, they'll assign me a husband, we'll be standing there, and we see the boy show up, and we react. That's what it is. So I'm gonna do that tape and send it in, and then, those rewrites I was working on that I was hoping that I was done with, I'm hoping to be done for real today. They gave me notes. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, but I will be done soon. I told them they would have it by Monday. I'm trying to get that stuff out the door today. I'm trying to get it out the door yesterday, if you hear me. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for getting ready with me. And please leave your comments. I want to hear your thoughts. You always have some interesting, insightful perspectives, and you make me think. So I just want to know, how do your values, how do your dreams differ from the American dream? Or are they the same? Are they the same? Do you want those things? And I'm not judging. I swear, I'm not judging. I'm just, you know what? I ain't got the energy to be judging people's lives like that. I'm judging my life. That's all I'm doing, is I'm just trying to be happy. That's it. All right. I'll see you soon. Bye. And this right here is what I looked like in my audition. Thanks for watching. Bye.